Welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Greg welcomes live calls from listeners in helping with numerous marital and relationship problems. There will be no more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of couples' challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your relationship and your own life. Listen, laugh, and climax. Greg is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. To others, he's simply known as Detroit's Love Guru.
The Art of Relationship show is copyrighted. No one is to use any part of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Dazinski, or the Art of Relationships. Thanks.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday morning. It is Thursday, I think. The week's sort of going by real quick, and I still have 2 days to go. Good thing I love doing what I do. Welcome to the Art of Relationship show, people. It is on daily, or supposed to be daily, Monday through Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. And I appreciate everybody showing up, tuning in, and all the support I've been getting. And as always, check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. And for those out there that share my video, go ahead, share my video. It costs you nothing, okay? Share it on your timeline for a chance to win my book. It'll be an ebook format, though. The Relationship Guide, Tools to Ignite Love and Intimacy. It's actually the enhanced edition that I just finished up late last week. So it's got more content in it. It's a lot better, smoother reading for you, okay? I wanted to make some changes in it, so it's going to be the enhanced edition. So you share this on your timeline, and you get a chance to win a book, okay? And I usually announce the winners Friday or the following Monday. So, and I'm back. Okay, there we go. So check that out. And also, I want to thank everybody out there for their insights. I'm going to run it for a few more hours, maybe till 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I appreciate all the insights. I am trying to decide between 2 new logos for the show. This show right here. And as of right now, 12 noon, I think I have like the banner is winning. The banner logo is winning. It's going to have the white heart logo, though, put into it instead of just red, so it stands out more. But the banner is winning right now. 30 votes for the banner to 18 votes for the circle. So you still have time to vote. And for voting on this and what you like better, you will be entered into a drawing. I'm going to raffle off more books, okay? So I'll announce the winners later on this evening. I'm hoping to do that in between clients. I have a busy afternoon, so I'm going to be raffling off more books, and I'll announce the winners for participating in that too, okay? So I appreciate all your help. You're helping me out, so thank you so much. Today, I'm going to get into sexual guilt and shame. It's been another topic that's been brought up by actually a couple people in the last week about feeling guilty or shame for wanting sex, a certain kind of sex. And I want to talk about this aspect. I don't want anybody to feel guilty or shamed from wanting sex, wanting maybe a certain kind of sex, okay? I want people to be okay with their own identity. I want people to be, happy with what they like, as long, again, I'm going to clarify, as long as you're not hurting anybody else or hurting yourself, okay? So I want, everything's fine. You have some people that are into S&M, okay? Some people that are into bondage. Some people that only like, having sex missionary position, okay? So I look at, what you like, what you don't like, and trying to evolve sexually. And is it, that you're afraid of, feeling guilty or shameful for a certain sexual act or even sex itself? And there's been a lot of people I've worked with, and I used to work with kids. I also specialize in trauma, and I worked with a lot of kids, that were sexually abused, that were you name it, okay? Sexually abused or pimped out by mom being a crack hoe, being a young age and pimped out to pay for her drugs, okay? Stuff like that. So I get, the meaning of sex, and I want you to identify, number one, when it comes to sexual guilt and shame, I want you to identify, what sex means to you. Is it just physical pleasure? Terrific, nothing wrong with that, okay? Is it just a release of stress? Is it, do you think that sex is all, or has to be all encompassing, feeling loved or being loved, feeling connected emotionally? Awesome. I'm all about sex being, fun, being physically pleasing, being emotionally connecting, where you share each other's hearts and souls, during sex, and having the afterglow. And I talk about that in my book too. And, having the afterglow and what that represents to you. I don't want you to be shamed and feel guilty about sex, about liking sex, about loving oral sex. I want you to own your own sexuality. And a lot of times how we're, raised, and maybe our cultural beliefs and the stigma that, oh, good girls say no. But it's funny how ironic when women are in their 40s, 50s, and I talked about women yesterday, everyone wants them to say yes and yes, right? And to own that. So it's funny how double standards come up with sexuality. And I hope with it being 2018, I'm hoping those double standards are out the window. But I know they still exist in some cultural, religious practices, which is a shame, right? Women should not feel guilty and shamed about sex, about loving sex, about enjoying it. Hell no, I want you to own it. And believe it or not, there's sexual guilt and shame that men feel as well. Not all men, just like not all women. And a lot of women feel, oh, it's, sexual shame and guilt for liking sex, whatever. It's only, about a woman feeling that. Men don't feel sexual guilt or shame. And yes, some men do, especially if they were, maybe sexually abused by the same sex gender, an uncle, a dad, a grandfather, that type of situation. And, or they feel like, because of religious beliefs, I'm only supposed to enjoy sex to procreate, or, if we're in an argument and I don't feel love from you, I'm not going to be able to make love with you or have sex with you, because after all, I was taught love is all about love, and when we don't feel it, I'm not going to have sex with you. Where maybe having sex and being okay with it can actually bridge the gap and make you feel more connected and more in love in a time you could, use it and enjoy that as a time to reconnect emotionally. And it doesn't always have to be according how you grew up or what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And this is all about you. And stopping the shame and stopping the guilt from enjoying sex, wanting sex. What about some people even feel, they're shamed and guilt, even by their partner, if they masturbate, okay? Men, women, whatever. I want you to be able to own it. It's your body, okay? By you doing that, you might be able to actually have a better lover, a better sex partner, because you know how you want to be touched, right? So own it. Don't be shamed about that. And I think there's still a little bit of a double standard. And I see a lot more people opening up sexually and what they want. And I get couples talking about it right now. And not, they sort of don't want it and they're not shamed about it. About, what, Greg? Our sex life sucks. Right? Well, I'm all about, anyways. I'll get into that on another show. But, going on, our sex life sucks. It's not what we want. We only have sex, whatever it is, okay? How many times a month, a week, whatever their situation is. And, it's funny how they feel shamed about that too, that they're not having sex. So there's a double standard that floats around with, wanting a lot of sex or not getting sex. And it's ironic how many people, their situations, they vary. It's different for everybody, people. And I want you to be, own your own sexuality. And instead of feeling shamed and guilty for what you like, what you don't like, I want you to be able to embrace it and go after it, okay? I want to be more expressive. I want to be more open. I love oral sex, and I don't want to be shamed for that, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. And to be able to, highlight it, be able to carry on open conversations about that. And those that have endured trauma, that have been raped and been sexually abused before, I've worked with countless individuals, both women and men, in those situations that have been traumatized. And you know what? I tell people, it's not the act of sex that is dirty, that is wrong, or whatever. It was the monster that did that to you. It was the creep. It was, the a-hole that raped you, that abused you. It's not necessarily the act of sex. And that's where I try to differentiate about that sex needs to be on your terms, okay? It's not always about you giving and you being taken advantage of, or you being used sexually for somebody else's pleasure. I'll never be for that, okay? I want you to own sex and differentiate, that sex, the act of sex, is different than the monsters, and it's different than the a-holes that, that raped you, that, that molested you, that sexually abused you. I want you to be able to separate those facets from that, from the people that, used you, that abused you, and to be able to own sex and have it on your terms, and you identify what it means to you about maybe being emotionally connected, being even that you can be pleased sexually and maybe not even have an emotional connection if that's what you want, and not to feel shamed. And the old adage years and years ago, and it still might exist, unfortunately, and I don't want it to be, guys can go out and have a one-night stand, and they get props for it. A woman goes out and has a one-night stand and she's deemed a slut. Bullshit. Oops, excuse me, did I swear? I want you to be able to get rid of the double standards and own it. That what works for a man, why should it be any different for a woman, to get rid of those double standards, okay? And if you want just sex for pleasure, no problem, right? Own that and be okay with it. Don't allow society's shame and guilt to dictate how you should feel, and say, I own it and I'm okay with that. And if you want just sex with emotional connection, great, fantastic. I want you to own that. To be able to, get away from the shame and the guilt that you feel. And some people are shamed, right, in relationships when it comes to sex and guilt. Oh, that's all you think about is sex. That's all you want from me is sex. And people that have a low sexual desire, they will shame or try to shame and guilt their partner into, because they want more sex, they desire them maybe more. So a lot of people with a low sexual desire will guilt and guilt trip and manipulate and shame their partner for wanting to be having more desire. Just on the other side of that too, people that are maybe high desire sexually, they want more sex, or they want it all the time, they will try to shame and belittle their partner for being cold, for being a prude, for being just laying there, for being just like a wet rag type of thing. Everybody, or a lot of people, heard that situation, just going through the motion. Or they belittle them for not being that sexual. And I tell people all the time, then if you're incompatible sexually, then maybe you need to be with somebody that is more sexually compatible with you. Maybe the one person that has a low desire sexually, maybe, and it has nothing to do with feeling loved, it's just them, maybe they would be happier being with someone that also has a low sexual desire, okay? Someone that has a very high sex desire, maybe they would be happier, healthier with someone that also shares a high sexual desire. And get rid of the shame and guilt and all this stuff. That's all you want me for is sex, or you're bashing me because I'm not as horny as you are. We need to be able to get rid of the shame and guilt, and to be able to just say, I want this, I like this is important to me, or not important to me. Maybe we need to be with people that are more compatible. And actually, that might be a good show topic. I'll come up about compatibility in relationships, and we're at not just sexually, we're talking emotionally, psychologically, lifestyle compatibilities as well. I covered that a while ago. Maybe I should revisit that. So, get rid of the shame and get rid of the guilt associated with your own sex. And I want you to form your own sexual identity, not based on somebody else like that abused you, that raped you, okay? I don't want that person or those people that have that power over you. I want you to be able to be more comfortable in your own sex how you want it, okay? Not how somebody else did. Remember, sex isn't bad or dirty. It is the person, the beast, the frickin' a-hole or whatever that sexually abused you or raped you. That is the issue, not sex in itself. They unfortunately just use sex as a mechanism to control you or to use you or abuse you, okay? So I want you to be able to understand that and to be able to get away from that feeling and that issue about that, okay? That mindset, if you will. That might be a better term. So to be able to go away from that and, don't allow your past, and I want you to own your own sexuality, to get rid of the guilt and the shame and feeling like, talking dirty or saying what you want is bad or makes you a bad girl instead of, a good girl. And it's all about pleasing. And another thing I run into when it comes to, sexual guilt and shame, some people actually feel guilty or shame by being pleased sexually, believe it or not, because these people, typically they're a lot of people pleasers and maybe doormats, and they're not used to, or maybe they feel guilty being pleased or being catered to or being considered when it comes to not only sexual pleasure, but also about life pleasure, and that their feelings matter and that they're feeling loved and taken care of and cared for. That seems like, they feel guilty for feeling this way. So, there's a lot of people, all wide ranges of people that run into guilt and shame and how they deal with it or what makes them feel shamed about sex. And those people out there, the people pleasers, I want you to be able to, to be okay. I want to be pleased, and I want to be pleased this way. It's, it's about me too, not just about my partner being pleased. And some people out there, they're so uncomfortable when it comes to being pleased, and not only sexually, but maybe emotionally and psychologically in a relationship. And that, it's always about somebody else. And when somebody else asks them, what do you like? What do you don't like? How do you want to be loved? They get squeamish and they feel guilty and shame for somebody even asking them that. I want you to own your sexuality and be able to own yourself and get rid of, accepting being pleased and that you deserve to be pleased, and there's no shame and guilt by liking being pleased, okay? Not at all. So own those, okay, people? Again, check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. Check it out. I have some programs going on, some self-help programs about healing after an affair program, and also 28 days to ignite your relationship. Check it out. And again, share the live video for a chance. Let me pull it up right there. For a chance to win my book, The Relationship Guide, Tools to Ignite Love and Intimacy. That's also available at Amazon.com as well in a paperback version, okay? So, thank you again for, all the support, and for me coming into your lives and being able to help you out or trying to help you have the relationship that you've always craved. Not only with your partner, but also with yourself, okay? And real quick, another reminder. You still have time. Check out the post below this with the radio show. The Art of Relationship show, not a radio show anymore, just show. Logos. Pick what you, which one you like. Which one sort of stands out to you and that you like. Pick it out, and I'm going to announce the winner of the logo. What logo I'm going to go with. Like I said, the circle logo has a white heart. That is going to be integrated into the banners instead of white, so it's going to stand out more, and I think it'll look better. But decide which one you like better, and I'll announce the winner in the official The Art of Relationship show logo later on this afternoon. And like I said, I'm going to probably give away 5 the 6 ebooks for you just putting in there. I'm going to do a random drawing and give away more ebooks. Okay, so thanks so much, people. Peace and love, and I'm done babbling. Take care, people. Happy